has gotten her hands on the transcript of a testimony. You were interviewing Lisa Page, the former lawyer at the FBI, recently in that hearing. And we have these texts from Peter Strzok to Lisa Page back in 2017, when Peter Strzok was questioning whether or not he should move over to the special counsel Robert Mueller investigation. And he says, an investigation leading to impeachment, ? You and I both know the odds are nothing. If I thought it was likely, I'd be there, no question. I hesitate in part because of my gut sense and concern. There's no big there. Explain this, Congressman.
Well, as I told Catherine Herridge yesterday, I wish I could say more about it, but until those transcripts become public, I can only really talk about the around the edges. But Lisa Page's testimony, I can say, is consistent with a lot of other testimony, to the point that neither she or Peter Strzok and the folks at the center of the Trump-Russia collusion investigation had any evidence of collusion with Russians nearly a year into the investigation. So I asked her about those questions in detail. I was heartened to hear Chairman Nunes say he was going to release those transcripts from the House Intelligence Committee. I would urge Chairman Goodlatte to do the same with respect to Lisa Page and Peter Strzok and others, because the sooner those transcripts become public, the sooner the public will see that this Russian collusion narrative is at best misleading and at worst false from the onset.
So we know that he said there's no there. They had informants trying to lure Trump campaign officials to get them into meetings. They had a media leak strategy, apparently, all the while knowing that there was no collusion. I mean, this is just extraordinary, Congressman. We have some more text for you to walk us through them, because here's another one from Peter Strzok to Lisa Page. After 2 negative articles were out, he says, well done. What was this media leak strategy, sir?
Yeah, I will concede that there is such a thing as a media leak strategy. Having been a national security and terrorism prosecutor, sometimes you do have to deal with leaks in high-profile cases, but the texts really underscore that what Lisa Page and Peter Strzok were doing there was not trying to control the leaks, but to get information out that they wanted to influence this narrative. So it's very troubling. Again, all of this ties in. It's not just Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, Maria. What's important and significant about what Devin Nunes told you earlier is more than 70 witnesses appeared before the House Intelligence Committee. All of them were asked the same question. What evidence do you have of Russian collusion with Donald Trump or the Trump campaign? What evidence do you have of conspiracy? What evidence do you have of coordination? And they batted 1,000 in their response. These are folks like Susan Rice and Samantha Power, senior DOJ and department officials and intelligence and law enforcement officials, and they all said, we don't have any. So what we have known and what I want the public to see from these transcripts is that our law enforcement and intelligence communities have known for a while that there isn't evidence of Russian collusion with Donald Trump or the Trump campaign. And the sooner the public finds that out, the better off we'll all be.
So where does this lead the special counsel, Congressman? As a former federal prosecutor yourself, what is Robert Mueller doing? What is he going to have to do in the coming months?
Well, part of what he's doing is still a mystery and a source of frustration to some of us in Congress, because we've only seen the order appointing Bob Mueller. We haven't seen the second scope memo that Rod Rosenstein signed in August of 2017. And so when folks say, let Bob Mueller do his job, I'm all in favor of that, but we need to know what his job is. And so, it seems incredible to me that members of Congress with oversight responsibility of the Department of Justice, none of us have seen that scope memo. So it's hard to comment on that with respect to Bob Mueller. I am one that has not questioned his integrity, but I have questioned his judgment at times. I think the way he has staffed his team with folks that are very clearly anti-Trump and very pro-Clinton partisans, some of whom attended her victory party, some of whom have given her money. and some of them have made derogatory statements about Donald Trump, all call into question whatever findings he comes up with. And what I don't want is for the American people to end up in a hung jury where, regardless of the work that he's doing, half the folks are going to conclude that it's not accurate because of who's been involved in his team. So, you know, we'll have to see with respect to that.
Well,